Hi, welcome back to Kelly's Chaos. I'm Kelly and this is my friend Kelly. We're going to have an informal conversation today about living life with MS. And I brought Kelly on the channel to have a discussion because her mom had MS, I have MS, and we've been friends for 20 years. And she has another friend who she's been friends with for a long time who has MS. So she has a very unique perspective and has been quite valuable and helpful in my journey with MS. And I want to say right off the bat, I'm sorry I have candy in my mouth because I keep getting a tickle in my throat, and I apologize, but it causes me to cough really bad and no rhyme or reason. So please forgive that little indiscretion. But I wanted to ask Kelly some questions and kind of have her give her perspective as a caregiver and a friend to those who are living with MS. And I wanted to start that I know with our friendship, your mom had MS.
Yes, that's correct. She was diagnosed around age 40, and we think she had symptoms probably about 10, 13 years prior to that. We weren't sure what was going on with her because her equilibrium seemed off, but we come from klutzy people, so we didn't know if it was just mom being mom or if there was something else that was going on. Her cousin, who used to cut our hair, she had recommended my mom get tested for lupus because Aunt Pat has it. So she thought that could be something worth testing for, but so many years ago, they didn't have the testings like they do now. So she had to run through the whole gamut of different things to figure out what it was she had. And I think it took them a good 3 or 4 years to actually figure out what it was and to come up with some sort of treatment plan for her.
Was she able to, once they kind of diagnosed her, did they get her on medicine or did that come a little bit later?
That definitely came later. She did a lot of therapies at the time to help with the equilibrium, to help with her balance. She was able to walk for a long time. She had a cane. At the time, I don't remember seeing many rollators running around. They could have been out there. I just wasn't exposed to it, but she went from a cane, and once that got to be not quite enough for her, she used a wheelchair on longer distances. So if we went grocery shopping or we went to the mall, especially because I'm a fast walker and there was no way she was keeping up with me. It was always slow down, slow down. But
Oh, yeah, I hear that a lot, or I'm the one saying, hello, you're forgetting about me.
right, so we put mom in the wheelchair, and then eventually she lost the strength in her arms to be able to push herself. So she wound up with a electric wheelchair.
Okay. And I know towards the end of everything, she was bedbound.
Yes.
And how many years was she bedbound?
Oh, it's hard to remember. I think she was probably bedbound for about 8 years.
Okay.
To some extent. Initially, it was she still had mobility in her upper body, and she could still, feed herself and drink and read. And I think she was still crocheting to a certain extent. The fine motor skills were lacking a little bit, but she was still doing pretty good. Towards I guess towards the end, she was in an assisted living facility.
Okay.
Only because for my dad it was a lot, and I was able to give him some reprieve a couple times a week, but there was no way I knew that I could be helpful and support and be there 24/7 and do what he does, because for the caregivers it's a lot.
Yeah, and we've
It's a
had
lot.
that conversation, and I know that I have RRMS, but your other friend who lives a little bit away, she, from us having conversation, most likely has PPMS.
I believe that's what it is. Yes.
Because I know, speaking about her mobility and her equilibrium and things that she's gone through that are different than me, and that's the one thing with MS is it's so very individual to each person because we never know what we're going to wake up with.
Right.
And our symptoms are, we mirror so many other disorders like lupus and Hashimoto's and fibromyalgia and just other autoimmune disorders, so burning and itching and numbness and tingling. And my favorite is when I feel like I have bugs crawling all over me. So I know that all of our symptoms, what are we going to wake up with today? It's like, Russian roulette when you wake up in the morning. And I know we've had that conversation, our differences, but I know because you had your mom that you were a caregiver to, you have me who has RRMS, you have your other friend who has PPMS. What are some things that you would like somebody to know in a support role, a spouse, a child, a coworker, a friend, or a caregiver? What would be an insight for them in your perspective?
Definitely have understanding, because you may make plans and last minute the plans are changed, because their body, may have a different plan for the day, and you just kind of have to roll with it and be supportive and be encouraging and let them know that it's okay. It is okay to change plans based on the fact that you don't feel well or things are not functioning enough for you to be able to do whatever it was planned. So still show them that love and support, but maybe find a different way. Whereas if you were supposed to go, say, on a shopping trip, even though they're going to be in a wheelchair, have some sort of little fun thing at home. Maybe bring snacks and drinks, whatever they like. Have a movie night in or play games. Just something where they can still rest and function and not throw themselves into a further turmoil, I guess would be the word.
And I know that we talked about we don't ever plan to not do what we plan. It's, we can wake up and our equilibrium is off, or we are just extremely tired. And I know that, because I work a full-time job, I have an active, 15, almost 16-year-old. My husband works. We have 3 spoiled fur babies, which you may or may not hear because they like to be around their humans. But I know that it's never our intention to not be able to do what we have planned, but sometimes we don't have a choice, and on important things we will push through, but we will pay for it, and our paying for it can last days. And so if it's something that, like, we're just going to go to the movies or we're going to go out to eat or something, it may be something that we're realizing, hey, I really can't push myself on that, so let's do something different. And I do appreciate, because Kelly comes down and hangs out with us, and Monday through Friday she has a very busy job, I have a very busy job, so on the weekend that she does me up, we relax at home and laugh and play a game and just talk, and that's okay. And I understand that, and that's the biggest thing that I wanted to start this channel for is, I'm just over 3 years diagnosed, and my first year I was overwhelmed because your life changes. You can't
take in. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and you don't, because and all of us with MS can relate to that. It's like we never know what we're going to wake up with and how our day's going to go. And so it was very overwhelming, and I found YouTube, and I was looking for a live community, and I'm in some Facebook groups and I love them, but the interaction is different, and there wasn't anything there. And so, but I found some amazing people, and my husband laughs at me because I will lay on the couch or sit on the couch with my blanket and watch my cleaning videos and decorating videos and cooking videos, and because they're calming and they're peaceful and predictable. So there's not a lot of thinking involved. And what I mean by that is you can just watch and get some great ideas and whatnot. And that's what I want this channel to be, is a support for us going through and living with MS, and to live with intentionality, to get up and have a purpose. And we're going to have hard days, but we're also going to have some amazing days. And for those who are in the support role, like my husband and my daughter and my friends, that they have a place to go and be like, okay, this is, my mother's going through this or my daughter's going through this, and have a community that is encouraging and supportive and motivating and letting you know that life is not over, it is just different. But I know that I'm incredibly blessed to wake up every day and have a life and have amazing friends and an amazing support system. And I know that we went to a water park a couple months ago for my daughter and her friend, and she watched me like a hawk the whole time. We had a blast.
She didn't even know I was doing it either.
And it was a conversation that we had afterwards. But she was, "Hey, you doing okay? Do you need some water?" Because we bought our own little drink mixes and water. But she was always checking on me without hovering. And it wasn't like, "Are you okay? Why are you moving? What are you doing? What are you doing?" It was nothing like that. But because of her experience with her mom, with me and her friend, and just her life in general, we found the perfect space to sit next to the bathrooms, next to some food, next to the lazy river, which we enjoyed tremendously.
Absolutely.
So it takes a little bit more planning, I would say.
Like, to be mindful of what you need to be close to. Honestly, it just really worked out, but it was definitely a blessing in that aspect. But to plan out and just to be mindful, and if you are in that supportive role, hover off to the side, because the thing is everybody still wants to maintain their independence. Even though my other friend she needs a little more help from time to time, she's not going to take it. But she knows that I'm there, and I will ask, do you need help? Do you need something? And 9 times out of 10, the word is no. And that's fine. But I always make sure I'm close enough just in case. So even though we're at the water park and Kelly thinks I'm just making casual conversation, I'm actually gauging how she's feeling, how, especially in the water with her equilibrium, because the last thing we want is anybody to drown. But just to keep tabs on where she's at and how she's feeling and adjusting things, because again, as a supportive role, it's easier for us to be outside in the heat all day, to get sunburned or whatever, and just be tired, sleep it off, and be good to go the next day. Whereas, people with MS, it takes days for them to recover to do something as simple as be out in the heat all day.
And I think my coping mechanism has always been humor.
Which is why we connect so well.
And so find what works for you. And the biggest thing I can also say that I've learned about myself through this is don't take yourself so seriously in every situation, because you know how you're going to feel. And we've all, I'm quite sure, our MS community, when we're walking and we're having the balance issues, and you turn around and you're like, "Listen, I'm not drunk, seriously," and you make little jokes because it is an invisible disease. We can be fine and show no symptoms one day, and then the next day we have a myriad of symptoms. And balance seems to be kind of the biggest one when we get tired, when we get stressed, when we're sick. So that's kind of the first one to come out there. So you're like, "Oh, I'm walking into the walls a lot more." Mm-hmm. And so just to remember that this is a journey, and everybody's journey is different, but we're all here to support each other. And I just really wanted to bring Kelly's perspective in, because it's not that she just knows one person with MS. She is intimately involved in lives with people with MS as friends and having plans. And I know that She's very mindful of her friends, but we're very independent. And I think that
it's a very strong-willed bunch, all of you.
I think because we get very determined to be normal. I would like to put in quotes because there is no normal, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Normal.
And it's our new normal. But I know that when Kelly told me some things about her other friend, she knew that she was having some balance issues, but she always listens out for her, and they had an issue, and she went in and helped her, and she's like, good? She goes, I'm good, and they laughed about it. And I think that that's what we need to do. And my big push for this community is being on 2 of the MS sites. I noticed that there's a lot who are not blessed with the support system that I have. I have an amazing doctor. He is a MS specialist, and he's a neurologist, and that matters. And I know that not everybody has a husband and child who are as supportive as I have, or friends who are as supportive. So I wanted this to be a safe place and community that you can come to and know that you have support. You may not be physically there, but we get it. I get it. And I am really excited about this channel, and I hope that you guys get excited about it and want to hear more and be part of, this community. And if you do, hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you'll get notifications. But comment, put questions in there, and what do you need help with? Because I'm going to have in future videos recipes, decorating, cleaning, but also things that I do to help me make things easier with MS. And it's that old little saying, it's like, work smarter, not harder. And we really have to think a lot of that with MS because, maybe we can't carry a basket of laundry, so we have other things that we can do. Maybe we can't clean our whole house in a day. That is me. I work on little things at a time. So I'm definitely not Martha Stewart, but my house is lived in. And so when I get to that point, I live in my house. I have 3 spoiled dogs, a kid, a husband. We work full time. So I wanted my life to be real because what we're going through and what we're living with is real, but we can have fun and have an escape from it. And I pray that all of you get a support group like I have with Kelly and my husband and my daughter and my church family, and that I want nothing but the best for you to be able to live your life with intention and to know that at the end of the day you will be okay. We'll all be okay, because at this point, y'all have heard the saying, we have all survived the worst days of our lives. And we keep on kicking and we keep getting up and doing what we need to do. And I wanted to thank Kelly for coming and
thank you for having
talking.
Me. Sure.
And she was kind of volunteered to come. But I really wanted to bring in an outside perspective of that role to our community, because I want this community to be for those with MS and autoimmune disorders and just any disorder. But I also want it to be a place that people who are in a caregiving or support role can come and be like, oh, okay. So, but that's what my channel is about, and I'm very grateful that you guys are here and stuck through this video. As Kelly tells me, I'm long-winded, but that's who I am. So, but thank you for joining us today. And again, if you like what you see here and want to be part of this community, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little bell. And my plan is to post a video a week. That is my plan. Hopefully I can do that, but that is my goal and my plan, because I've been thinking about this channel for 2 years and I got out of my own way, and here I am, Kelly's Chaos, because we all live through the chaos of MS. So, but thank you for joining us. And is there anything that you want to say in parting? See,
I don't know. It was one of those, just throw me on the spot. Why give me things to talk about? Here it is.
I told you I voluntold her.
Yeah.
But
Just remind your loved ones with MS that you love them and you're there and you're going to support them. And whatever that support is, whether it's sending memes at 2 a.m. or taking the backlog of memes to catch up on.
like the 15 reels that she make it in a day.
But just find out what it is that you can do for, your friends, your family, your loved ones that just makes their day a little brighter. And it's anything from a kind word to goofy memes to recipes to crafting videos. We're on a Halloween kick.
Yeah, Halloween and fall kick.
But just remind your people that you love them and that you're there for them.
So, and that is a big thing because sometimes they really need to hear that, because a lot of times we can feel like we're a burden. And we're not. And they don't feel that we are, but sometimes we can feel that way. So, but again, thank you guys for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And please don't forget to share a comment, share the video with somebody that you know who maybe has an autoimmune disorder or MS or a caregiver or support person, and say, listen, here's some things that you might want to check out. So, but thanks for joining us today, and we're going to end the video, and I just want to say bye, and just remember, God loves you, I love you, and thanks for joining us. Bye.
See ya.